Hey guys, Emily Roberts here, the Guidance Girl. I am here on National Sibling Day. How exciting. So what do you think we're going to be talking about? Well, dealing with difficult people and people who push your buttons. If you don't have a sibling, I'm sure you have a friend or a family member who you often feel is trying to push you, who is trying to just see that one thing right there that maybe ticks you off or makes you a little bit angry. Well, it's unlikely they're doing this just for a response, but my guess is as good as yours when it comes to, look, the intention is often there to have fun, right? It doesn't always feel that way. And we have difficult people in every aspect of our lives, whether it be at work, at school. Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for, if you guys have questions about this, put it below, put your little comment below. Hi Reagan and Freedom, how's it going? We are going to talk a little bit more about siblings, but also about friends or people in general who push your buttons and how to communicate with confidence. Because one of the things that people didn't teach me when I was younger was how to effectively communicate. Meaning, even though my sister might be not getting back to me or doing something that little sisters do, how can I still maintain my confidence and my ability to express myself even if I don't get what I want? So I'm not talking about like little sister stuff like going and stealing my sweaters, which I think we still both do. Sarah, am I right? Shout out to my little sister. This is a picture I just found of me and my little sister Sarah. Aw, how cute. That was me. That was her back in the day. I'm not talking about stuff like that though. I'm talking about stuff that really, really irks you. Like for example, I was talking to a client today whose sister will mention stuff from the past and bring it up in very awkward situations where they're at dinner with family friends or where they're with somebody that this girl maybe likes, this young woman likes, and her sister will bring up like the most embarrassing story from childhood and throw it in her face. What are you supposed to do in those situations? And why does your sister do that? Well, look, the thing is I don't know why the sister does that, but I can tell you here's how to handle yourself in situations where people are bringing up embarrassing stories or trying to make you look bad. Or, hey, we're just kidding. It's so funny. Just take a joke. Well, it's not funny. So for all you siblings out there or friends who say, oh my gosh, just relax. It's just a joke. Jokes are meant to make other people laugh, not tease. It doesn't make someone feel bad. And so, Freedom, I will get to you in just a second, and I am so sorry to hear, about dating. So this is actually good information for dating too. I'm gonna bring this in. If somebody like makes fun of your flaws, or I say flaws, the things that we're saying are our flaws, those aren't even our real flaws. The things that we're insecure about, that's not funny, that's just hurtful. That's what I have to say. If somebody brings up something that you don't want to talk about and it's in a social situation or even one-on-one, you have the right to say, you know what, nah, I don't want to talk about this right now. Please respect me and let me know that, I want to let you know that this hurts my feelings in some way or this doesn't feel comfortable for me. I think people who say that stuff and speak up for themselves or, hey, this is uncomfortable for me, I'd really like to take this slowly, or I'd really like to go do X, Y, or Z because I'm anxious, this can be something that people respond to who are the right people for you. If people make fun of you or people make you feel anxious about that, then they are people that you need out of your life because they're not worth your time. Now, when it comes to siblings and it comes to friends that have been in our life for a while and family members who push our buttons or tease us, we can't just say, you know what, I get rid of you. I'm getting rid of you. We can't do that. They're going to be with us forever, and there's parts of them that we really, really love. So let's not forget about the parts of our siblings and our friends that we love. But when they do something that really ticks us off, it can be challenging to see those good parts. Am I right? So what are you supposed to do? Well, the first thing is don't do what you did in the past. That means don't go tell your mom or your dad. Don't go tell your best friend and gossip. If it worked before, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It usually doesn't work. You see, the strategies that I tried when I was younger, at least to get my sister or a friend to stop doing something, was to talk about it and continue to talk about it, but nothing was being done. I didn't radically accept the fact that this person maybe isn't capable of giving me what I want or need, even though they're my sibling, even though I love them, even though they're my best friend of 15 years, they still may not be capable of giving me what I want or need in that moment. And so this is the biggest thing I teach people, and that I've had to teach myself over and over again, is, one second, sorry guys, my phone's doing something funny. Okay, hope y'all are there. Some people just aren't going to change. And the more that we try and force them to change or do it our way, the more we are just exhausting ourselves. The thing is you can only do the best you can to help someone see what they're doing to you. you really can say everything 55 times, but like that old adage says, you can lead a horse to water. You can literally not make the horse drink. You can't make it drink. So all you can do is the best you can, and if they're incapable of giving you what you want or you need to readjust your relationship in this time with this person. Does that make sense? So just because you and a sibling aren't close right now doesn't mean later on you will be the same. You won't be the same. You won't have the same tension. If you and your best friend have kind of taken a hiatus because she's working really hard at this new job and you're doing all these other things over here, it doesn't mean that you won't be good friends later on. It just means that right now, both of you are not capable of accepting each other for who they are. And that's the key here, is accepting people for who they are right now. Not who they were 15 years ago or 5 years ago, not who you think they could be, because the truth is they're showing you who they are. But accepting what is right now, even if you don't like it. Acceptance does not mean that you have to like it. It means that you have to accept it so that we can choose to handle it differently, or we can stay stuck in suffering. Stuck in suffering. When you don't accept the situation, you stay miserable, essentially. When your friends hide, okay, Reagan, you asked, my friends hide my phone from me, usually when I watch TV, but I get my phone, when I get my phone, they get on their phone. Okay, so they're teasing you. So friends tease, siblings tease, they try and do this to try and teach you something, I imagine. I don't know what their intention is, but here's the deal. If someone is teasing you or trying to go about some wrong way to get you to notice them, for example, like, yeah, teasing is a good word here, or making fun of you, or hiding things, or just doing things to really piss you off, instead of actually reacting, because that's what they want a reaction for some reason. They want to have that, they want to have that reaction. Instead of giving them a reaction, and you may be able to like hold it together a little bit, but at the same time, when you give them a reaction, it is totally going to be, it takes away all the confidence building that you're doing because you're just so angry. Do your best to say, hey, you know what, like, I know you think this is funny, but right now I'd really appreciate it if I could have my phone. Now they may be like, oh my gosh, look who's being an adult, look who's not responding, and they may continue to egg you on. However, I have a tip for you. Ask what the intention is. Hey, what's this trying to accomplish, guys? Like, I'm really having a rough day. I'd really like my phone back, or can you please give it to me? When you are actually calmer and you don't react with such intensity, guess what people do? And they're like, okay, this isn't that much interest. That's not very interesting to me anymore, excuse me. That's not as exciting anymore. Their dopamine in their brain isn't firing, fight, or flee. It's saying, oh, this isn't that much fun. Okay, here's your phone. When you react in a way that they want it, when you give them what they've been waiting for, ooh, let's see if Reagan gets a reaction, or ooh, let's see if so-and-so, if Emily yells at me, I bet she's gonna yell at me. That's what their brains are doing. They're not saying this to other people, but that's what their brains are doing. But if you say, you know what, dude, like, I really don't wanna play this game right now. I'm just kind of tired. Can you give it to me, please? I don't know what the function here is, but could you please give it to me? That may actually help. If it doesn't, don't go to their level. That's the thing. If you fight fairly, that still means you lose in some way. So don't fight. Be like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. I've got too much dignity right now. If you don't wanna give it to me, you know what, I'm just gonna go over here and work on something else on my computer. I don't wanna play this game. Don't go down to other people's levels. Now, I'm saying this with friends, I'm saying this with siblings and family members. You know, you probably have family members who are older than you, who may still treat you, or may act younger than you in a lot of ways, depending on how old you are watching this. I know that I do. Maybe not family members, but who are immature, who say things and you're like, oh my God, that is so not appropriate, right? Well, what do? Do you go down to their level, or do you stay true to you and your values? That doesn't mean you fight at the dinner table. That means you just gently change the subject, or go and talk about something that feels good to you. You don't have to go and have that conversation about both political parties over here. Like, that's never gonna be comfortable for anybody. But do yourself a favor and stay true to you. And check the facts. Is this person ever gonna change? You're never gonna change your grandparent who has been thinking this way for 85 years. Like, you can say whatever you want to say, but it may not change the fact that they're gonna treat you the way they treat you. And I bring this up because we spend so much time trying to change other people that we're not even paying that much attention to ourselves. So in order to honor yourself with friends, difficult people, difficult family members, and the siblings that we love, why don't we just honor who they are right now? And try not to expect too much. They're suffering too. Everyone's got their stuff. Just because you grew up in the same household or in the same town or in the same school as somebody doesn't mean that you guys have the same life circumstances. And this is important. I want you to listen to this. I've done this before with my sister where I thought because I endured something, she would handle it the same way. Why isn't she handling it like I am? Why isn't she seeing it the way I'm seeing it? Because she's not me. And you could say, duh, Emily, of course, Emily, she's not you. Why would she handle it that way? But you know what? Most sisters and brothers and friends that I've talked to have had the same experience where they think that just because we grew up in the same area or we were around each other for a certain amount of time means that we kind of have the same brain in some ways, or we handle things the same way. It's an assumption that's actually really damaging, because what winds up happening is you don't see it from their perspective for just a second. No matter how frustrated you are with your sibling, your friend, or your family member, take a step over here for just a second. Take a step out of yourself, okay? Pivot for just a minute and ask yourself, really, what would it be like to be in their shoes? How would I feel perhaps if I was in their shoes? Would I have more empathy for the situation? Can I look at it from their perspective? What might he or she be thinking right now? We do so much blaming and so much assuming. We don't step back and say, gosh, I never thought about how Sarah might be handling this right now. I was only thinking about myself and assuming she handled it the same way, versus, oh my gosh, she doesn't have the skills that I had. She might really not know how to handle this. You have so much more empathy for your family members and for your friends when you can step out of your own way and say, what's really going on here? What am I assuming? What am I leaving out? And what do I need to maybe ask about? And if somebody doesn't want to tell you, I'm not saying go ask, hey, what's going on in your life? Why are you so anxious? What's going on, Sarah? Why can't you handle the situation like I did? Tell me, tell me, tell me. No. Just pivot in your own mind out of the situation and think, what could be an issue or a barrier that's keeping this person from connecting to me? I hope that's helpful, because I noticed that for me it was when I got so fed up with my sister once. Sarah's great. Love you, Sarah, my sister. But she wasn't seeing it from my perspective. I tried to tell her from my perspective. She couldn't see it. And eventually, a few years later, we're talking about this situation where we got in this big fight, and she goes, I just couldn't hear you because I had so much of my sister's voice in my head for so many years that I didn't want to hear you. I didn't want to at that time. I'm now ready to hear you. And that's fair. She's not forced to hear me. You're not forced to hear me. And I'm not forced to hear anyone else's opinion. So allow people to have their space too. If your friends, Reagan, if your friends are calling you names, or if they're acting in immature ways, just accept that that's who they are right now and don't go down to their level. What's the point of doing that? You're going to lose your respect for yourself. You're going to get less confident. You're going to feel more insecure when you get out of like your confidence zone and you start acting like a child, right? I know that you're not acting like a child, but if your friends are, it's really going to hurt your confidence when you act their age too. So just take a step back, don't engage. And you know what? Really sit with yourself and sit with your emotions and think about, like, if I'm getting really upset, I gotta do something else that makes me feel confident and productive. I've gotta go, and I know Reagan likes to go on social media and engage with people who she finds inspirational and powerful. That's a great tool, Reagan, because when you do that, you're taking that energy and you're putting it somewhere positive and somewhere that actually promotes your own confidence, versus sitting there and stewing over all the crummy stuff that your friends or your siblings have done. So continue to do things that make you feel confident and productive. Communicate also with people, whether they're your family members or your friends, that bring out the best in you, okay? Not the ones that make you feel all overly anxious or frustrated. Like, instead of hanging out with those people, take a moment to check in with yourself and say, what's up? Can I tolerate this person right now? Even if it's your sibling in the other room, you have your own area you can go into. A bathroom counts. You don't always have to be ready to communicate with people when they're ready. You can say, I need 5, or you know what, I'm just having a day right now. I've got to go handle this and we can communicate soon. Do not engage in a conversation with a family member, even if they corner you, a sibling, even if they're texting you off the hook. You have choices. Set some boundaries for yourself, y'all, because when you feel more calm, mindful, and in control, no matter what anyone else is saying or doing, you win. You can use your skills, all the ones that are going to express yourself, or all the ones that you have with your toolkits that we've been working on, to express yourself better and more confidently. And let's look at it this way too, because it is National Sibling Day. And we want to put out all that positive energy toward our siblings and our brothers and sisters and the whole world. Let's look at it this way. Whenever we're having ill feelings about somebody or frustration, and you just keep thinking about the negative, the negative, the negative. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did this. How could they do this? Pause for just a second And remember what it was like when you had a good time with that person. Remember that silly childhood memory that you have with that person, or that funny joke that you and that particular person have in common. Can you think of a few good moments? The reason I'm asking you to do the exact opposite of what your emotions are saying in this time is so that you can develop a little bit more empathy for them, for yourself. And it doesn't mean you're a doormat. Don't even think that that's where I'm going. It means that you're going to react with less intensity and less aggressiveness, aka more confidence, when you can think of this from more than one side. All anger, all happy, that's not the real world. The real world's right here in the middle. It's the gray area, okay? The real world is, or excuse me, the wise mind in some ways, this kind of beautiful part of our brain is, they're doing the best they can. I can only do this much. And right now I choose to see this in a different perspective. I choose to see more love over fear or anger. I'm trying to see this in a way that doesn't really upset me so much. That's that middle path. Does that make sense? Try and find a middle path. Try and think of the positive. Pull yourself out of the drama. Pivot, get outside for a second, ask yourself, what am I missing here? Why am I getting so upset? Can I see it from their perspective? And also, remember, it's not all about you. It's not all about forcing them to do what you want. It's about accepting, not necessarily liking it, but accepting what is right now. You can't change the past, so quit bringing it up to them. You can change one situation at a time if you try to use your skills effectively. When you're talking, this is my last tip, okay guys? Please listen to this one because this is important. This is one that I've learned from lots of trial and error. Lots of error. Where I would go in and say to my sister or to a friend, oh my gosh, I really want to talk to you about something. But usually, nowadays it's on text. Well, they'll bring back something from the past, right? Which is like, but remember that one time when you did this? And then you guys are on a whole new planet of fighting, right? Because you're bringing up everything. Be the bigger person here, like actually, and the more confident person that says, you know what? That's hurtful, and I really am sorry that happened in the past, or if you want to say that, and I don't want to do this right now. Let's talk about what I came here to talk to you about, which is getting along right now, or the current situation that's bothering me. Don't break up all the stuff from the past. And if they do, just say, again, reiterate, I just want to talk about what's going on right now. Like, I really don't think that I can bring up all that stuff from the past. I just don't really want to rehash this with you. I really want to try and make this better with you, and I don't want to bring all that up. These are a lot of tips, a lot of different tools. You can, fast forward through this and see the ones for getting along with more calmness, and go back in the video if you want to see what it's like to create some more boundaries. But remember, this is your life. I'm just out here in the virtual world in New York City right now, giving you a few tools and tips to try and get along with your siblings and your friends and your family a little bit better. So do the best you can, but remember, you can't change people. You can just try and accept who they are right now. And people grow and people change, and really good friendships and really solid relationships, and usually our siblings, we all come back and we all always kind of settle in and have the same relationship that we did when we were younger. It always goes back to good. Just don't push it too hard and don't get focused on the past. Aim for what you want. You just can't force other people to do it, okay? Happy National Sibling Day. Give your sister or brother or friend a call who's like a sibling if you don't have one, and say what's up and send them lots of big love. And I'm sending you guys lots of love and light tonight. I hope you have a great evening. Remember, you can't change other people, so just try and stay cool with yourself, okay? Have a great night. Bye.